Making a sequel to any well-beloved movie can prove very difficult. Sometimes filmmakers play things too safe and you end up with Hangover Part 2. And other times filmmakers take a risk and you get Empire Strikes Back. But a lot of times filmmakers are able to strike a balance and make a sequel that feels like a continuation of the story, introducing new challenges, while also keeping to the spirit of the original. This is a Die Hard 2. In this day and age, we are so quick to pronounce our love for a film or our hatred for it. But how do we know if that loving adrenaline rush can carry over to repeat viewing? Or if our disdain is still justifiable? Well, we have to be willing to give every film a second look. One of the big criticisms I hear about Die Hard 2 is that it repeats too much plot from the original film. And this is something I don't totally agree with. When comparing the plots of Die Hard 2 and Die Hard with a Vengeance, you'll see that Die Hard 2 falls more in line with what the series, at least to me, is supposed to be about. One man against the odds.
Oh man, I can't fucking believe this. Another basement, another elevator. How could the same shit happen to the same guy twice?
The thing about Die Hard 2 is that while staying true to what the series is, it does add some different elements. For one, I like seeing John operate with other people. The original film confined John to be mostly by himself for the film, and his only interactions with others, besides fighting, is through a radio. But here, we get to see John interact face to face with people, and it leads to some great moments.
Now, you're the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Story of my life.
I also think the twist in the movie works rather well, and I'll be honest, on first viewing, I didn't see it coming. I also enjoy how far the movie pushes some darker elements and darker moments. I mean, when the villains send that plane to its doom, it's a really hard scene to watch. I like the fact that the movie didn't shy away from pushing the envelope in these ways. But like all great stories, it needs to be populated with some great characters. Let me get the returning cast out of the way. I love Al's cameo. I think it's funny, and I like seeing that him and John are now partners after the events of the first film. Holly works for me in this film because she serves two purposes. One, she's the engine that pushes John to keep fighting. While yes, John is trying to be heroic and help everyone, at the end of the day, he's fighting to make sure Holly is okay. And two, she is also the window into what the passengers, flight attendants, etc. are feeling on the plane. Sure, it could have been easy to just keep cutting back to some random flight attendants, but every time we cut back to the plane, it's usually Holly we're checking in with to inform us what's going on. Thornburg doesn't totally work for me. I get he's added in because they needed someone to cause the panic at the airport during the third act, but that one just feels a touch tacked on. But having said that, I enjoy Atherton's performance, and seeing him get his comeuppance again is enjoyable.
This should be my final broadcast.
Amen to that.
As for the new cast, Lorenzo is annoying and serves as this film's Dwayne, as the force that is trying to keep John from doing his job. In that regard, he works. I enjoy Trudeau and Barnes as it's clear they understand John is trying to help and they respect his efforts. And when it comes down to it, all three of these characters are on John's side come the third act. But now it's time to talk about our main villain and hero. You were never going to get a villain as good as Hans Gruber. It just wasn't possible. And I think the writers knew that. They don't try to make Colonel Stewart like Gruber. Where Gruber was a charismatic talker, Stewart is really blunt and straight to the point. Which makes sense, he's a man on a mission and doesn't want to waste any time. There seems to be an almost silent joy he gets from all the chaos he's causing, because he just assumes at the end of the day he's going to win. I also enjoy that he presents a physical threat to John. Hans never would have stood a chance in a straight-up one-to-one fight with John, but Stewart pushes John to his limits, and it's only with wits and some luck he wins. Stewart is cold-hearted and doesn't care at all about the innocent people he is killing, which makes him a great follow-up villain to Hans. I really enjoy the John McClane we get in Die Hard 2. He has all the wit and charm we loved from the first film, but we also see how the events of that last film have impacted him. I like that this is the only film where John and Holly are on good terms. And I like that, since it was clear in the last film, there is a strong bond between the two. But the thing I love most about in this film is John's heart. We see so many times how much he cares about people, and really understand why he became a cop. When people die, he feels responsible for it, and I love seeing that. But of course, we still get all the great badassness of John McClane from Die Hard.
On, McLean, just a few words.
Okay, just a few words. Fuck off. Just once. Like a regular, normal Christmas. Hey, Carmine, let me ask you something. What sets off the metal detectors first? The lead in your ass or the shit in your brains?
Simply put, I love Die Hard 2. I think it's a perfect follow-up to the original. It keeps the spirit of what Die Hard is, while also adding some new elements. I like seeing John in a different environment, I enjoy the cold-hearted villain, and overall, I love the action set pieces. Die Hard 2, in my opinion, is a perfect action movie sequel. It changes things up while keeping the things we loved from the original. And every time I watch it, I can't help but get that great feeling perfect action movie is supposed to give you.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.